Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today's video is about the Tesla. Why did I buy the Tesla? Why should you consider buying a Tesla in 2024? What can you get from the Tesla, out of the Tesla? Is it the right fit for you? The do's, the don'ts, everything in the EV world. I've had a couple EVs. Let's get into the video. So, EVs came out, started being a thing a while back. And so you can see that, I got my EV, which is the Tesla. And I also got my V10, which is the Lambo. And we have another car, which isn't here right now. Wifey's out in that one. But we have an SQ7. So, EVs in 2024. Let's talk about that. So, we had an e-tron. And we dove into that EV world, and it wasn't good. The charging situation for something that wasn't an Audi was terrible. I mean, it was so bad. You couldn't go anywhere. I mean, the range was bad. The charging speeds were bad. I mean, there was one place near me that I could charge it that was a fast charger. I had to install a charger at home to charge the car. That's not the case with the Tesla. The Tesla is fantastic. I wish I did that the first go around. So if you're considering buying an EV, please do yourself a favor. Get the Tesla first. Sorry guys, it got really freaking hot in that garage. I had to come out here and open those doors. I was dying. Anyway, the EVs, that's not a Tesla. It's just terrible. It really is. So the Teslas were redesigned. So they look significantly better now than what they used to. You can see they got the emblem is gone. It just says Tesla. I mean, the car looks significantly better. I've already tinted the windows on it. I mean, the headlights, the front end, the whole thing is just different. So why should you buy an EV? I mean, is it a good fit for you? If you live out in the middle of Wisconsin and in the plains, it's not going to be a good fit for you. It's just not. So yeah, I mean, if you live out in the middle of nowhere, like let's say you live out in the plains, the Great Plains, you probably aren't going to buy an EV. You're just not. It's not going to make sense for you. You can't really charge it probably. And this goes for any EV, not just Teslas or Audis or whatever. It just doesn't make sense for you to do that. Because you're going to need to go charge it somewhere, but we do need to start going toward that, because a commuter car, for example, for me, going to or from work, I drive 60-something miles round trip to go to work each day, and I work a lot, as most of you know. And so for me, it makes perfect sense to get an EV. So what I was paying in gas, driving back and forth to work, running errands, doing things like that, is what I pay a month on my Tesla. Now, I leased it because I leased a lot of my cars. The Lambo I bought. The Lambo is mine, and the SQ7 is wifey's. But I lease a lot of cars because I go through them a lot. So on the Tesla, I did the 15,000 mile a year lease on it, and it was a good deal. And so you really can't go wrong with it. I mean, it's great. It really is. And so you're going to save in gas, and you can install a charger at home. Most electric companies. We're in the Tesla now filming the rest of this because it is just way too freaking hot out to be doing all this. Anyway, we're here in the Tesla, and what I was saying was, is it right for you? I mean, most electric companies will give you a stipend or something like that, whatever you want to call it. They'll give you some money back for installing a charger at home. So like for us, when we had the e-tron, our electric company covered half the cost to install the 240 volt in the garage. So that was huge. That was a deal break, a huge game changer for us. And so when we got the Tesla, it just kind of rolled right on through. I can charge it there. So yeah, if you live out in the middle of nowhere, if you're having to drive 30, 40 miles to charge your car and back, I mean, you're using half your battery. It doesn't make sense for you to do that. So be smart about it. Most of your major cities are going to have a lot of chargers and superchargers. So what I say to everybody is, if you're thinking about getting an EV, it's a great decision to make, especially if you live near a city or something. Because you're gonna have no shortage of chargers, and that goes the case for any EV right now this year. The charging network is like Charge America and Charge Point. There's a few of them out there now. But they have charging stations pretty much set up everywhere around cities. Now, the good thing about Tesla is you could drive coast to coast in a Tesla and charge it. A lot of these other companies, you can't do that. Tesla has the largest supercharger network, and they're fast, and they're clean, they're nice. The way the car warms the battery up to get there, and it's great. It's a great decision to get one for a commuter car. Now, for me, like I said, I leased mine. I spec'd it out though. You can still spec it out like you want, which on a Tesla, what are you really spec'ing out? The interior color, exterior color, and wheels. That's about it. And I did 15,000 miles. I've had the car a little over a month. I've already put 2,500 miles on it. At this rate, I'm going to blow through that. But I'll dial it back a little bit because we did take it on we took it on a trip just to kind of see what it would do, and it was there and back, not a single issue. The supercharger network was on the way there, and we got it to it no problem. And it's a really good decision to get one. It's going to save you on fuel costs. It's pretty much going to pay for itself, especially if you drive a lot. And so you'll have an extra car that ain't going to cost you anything. And it helps the environment, of course, trying to be carbon neutral as much as possible. If that's your thing, which it should be. That doesn't mean you need to go out and give up all your gas cars. That's not what I'm saying. Absolutely not. I got a V10 sitting next to me, and I got a twin turbo V8 SUV. Like, no, I burn a lot of gas. I put a lot of emissions out there in the world. But for me, it makes sense to get an EV, to commute back and forth to work, and run errands in. It just makes sense. And the camera system, like my tag flew off, I got it. I had an instance the other day where I got pulled over. I was sitting stopped at a red light, but I had my phone in my hand, and the cop sits at the red light and looks into people's cars. And if you have your phone in your hand, he dings you for having a phone, being on the phone. He doesn't know what you're doing. It could have been off for all he knows. And I was just holding it in my hand, and he gave me a ticket. So, the Tesla one, the navigation on it, it's simple. People get it in the Teslas, and it scares them because they don't see a big speedometer gauge. They don't see a big tachometer gauge. All I have is a steering wheel, and I have the screen. And so people aren't like, it's the unknown. It's new to them. The people are afraid of things that are new. There's no stocks on here to turn the signals with. It's all right here on the wheel to lock your doors and unlock the doors. It takes time to get used to all that because everything's on your, we'll call it the iPad, the touchscreen. Everything's there. And the EVs really are changing the game. Some of my guys today were talking, and it was, the sports cars like your Lamborghinis and your Ferraris and things like that, they have tried to stay out of the hybrid / EV world for as long as possible, and it's just not happening anymore. Like the Revuelto is coming out, and it's a hybrid. The Temerario is coming out. These are both successors that Lamborghinis have coming out, for those of you that don't know. The Temerario, it's a twin turbo V8, and it's just got the E-Ray on the Corvette side. So it's a future that's coming where you have to have an EV. We're going that direction. But it makes sense to get it. Now, if you're thinking about getting an EV, EVs have changed a lot since I had my e-tron, but I would suggest you stay away from anything that's not a Tesla, right? So you could drive it coast to coast, you take it on trips. I did that. The Teslas are just fantastic cars. They're the most American-made car that there is. And if you don't believe me, look it up. They are the most American-made car that there is. And when they first came out, they had quality issues. I've seen people's online posts. I know some people that had quality issues with them. I haven't ran into any quality issues with mine yet. I hope I don't. But it's been a great car. You can see my red leather interior in here. It's roomy. I've got 2,500 miles on it in a month. So far, no complaints. And you should really consider getting a Tesla. I did it. I'm happy I did it. I drive this thing all the time. Like, all the time. And it drives nice. And pop it into a supercharger. Plus, Tesla gives you free supercharging for so long. So, you pop it into a supercharger. You can charge it. And it's fast. Pop it into a supercharger. Go in, have a bite to eat. Get you a drink or something. Come back out and go home. Get you some beignets or whatever your thing is. Usually superchargers are near where you can go shopping and things like that. So, and a lot of workplaces have them installed as well. So, it makes sense to get an EV. Don't be scared to get an EV. don't be afraid to make that jump. When you do it, it is going to be scary at first. You're going to be nerve-wracking. Your anxiety is going to be through the roof because you're not going to know what you're doing. How do I do this? How do I control that? But once you get the hang of it, I promise you, you're going to love it. Don't get an EV and in the first month give up. I've had EVs before, so I kind of know what to expect. You may not. You may be watching this video and go out and get one right now. But don't let it scare you off. Don't hate it. Don't say, I don't like this because I don't like these controls. I don't know this. I don't know that. That's what most people do. They don't like it because it's out of the norm. But once you get the hang of it and you see where everything is at and how to control everything, you are going to love it and you're not going to go back. So had I got a Tesla the first time around, so the e-tron, I would still have it to this day. Tesla's a fantastic car. Don't be afraid to make that jump to EV. Do it. Do yourself a favor. Get the Tesla though. Get the EV. Save yourself some gas and some headache, maintenance, things like that. It's phenomenal. Don't be afraid to get a Tesla. Do it. You'll love it. You should totally get an EV in 2024. Just do it. And that's coming from someone who has a V10 and a twin turbo V8. We drive this all the time and it's fantastic. So till next time, guys, if you have any questions, comments, drop them below. I'll get to them all. As always, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.